The madness continues this Friday, March the 21st. 16 more first-round games, and just like I did Thursday, I'm going to break down all 16 games here for Friday. Free analysis, advice, public information, let you know how to play these games. That's coming up free for you right here, right now. Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV. And since you enjoyed the Thursday video, I'm going to do the Friday video same way. Quick hitter on all 16 games in the NCAA tournament for this Friday. And hey, look, I plan to come back Saturday and Sunday and do it as well for the 8 games in each of the days on Saturday and Sunday. If you're finding these videos useful, thumbs up, like, comment below. I truly read the comments. I reply back. The more support, the more thumbs up, likes, the more positive comments. Hey, the more free play videos I'll continue to do every day of the NCAA tournament this month. Don't forget to also click subscribe and click that bell for an instant alert so you never miss when these videos are posted each and every day free right here on WagerTalk TV. All right, we're going to go down in betting rotation order again in the 4 regions for Friday, and we will start in Raleigh, North Carolina in the East region on Friday, and this first game in the betting rotation goes at 2:50 Eastern. It's Mount St. Mary's Duke. Duke, the pre-tournament favorite at 3-1 to win the whole thing. ACC obviously didn't look very good on Thursday. We'll see if they look better here on Friday. Duke was obviously the cream of the crop in this conference, but it won't matter. Mount St. Mary's has no chance of competing. And currently, Duke is a big favorite in this game, 32-point favorite. I will point out, I mentioned this with the 32-point line with Auburn, Alabama State on Thursday in the video, that if you're going to play the dog, you probably want to look at them early as they might have some momentum from the play-in game. And that's exactly what happened, actually, with Alabama State on Thursday. They were plus 20 in the first half, and they trailed by only 10 at halftime. This line is also 20, exact same number. So if you're going to back Mount St. Mary's, probably do it earlier than later. And by the way, if you like Duke, you might want to wait for a slow start and get a better adjusted in-game price. Auburn was minus 32 pregame. They went down to minus 21 late in the first half. So we'll see if it plays out the same. One thing I do think will happen, though, is Mount St. Mary's will struggle to score. The over-under on this game is around 140.5. Duke can obviously name their score. Cooper Flagg is expected to be available, whether he plays or not, whether Brown plays or not. Maybe limited minutes to just get their, sea legs, the rust off their sea legs, if you will, for the Saturday or the Sunday game afterwards. But I do think Mount St. Mary's is going to struggle to score in this one, and it is the lowest team total on the board of all 16 games on Friday. And if you recall, the lowest team total on the board Thursday was SIU Edwardsville at 49, and Houston held them to 40 points. I gave you that free yesterday in the Thursday video. Hey, once again, we play the lowest totals under, the highest totals over. It goes the same for team totals. If you're going to play the Mount St. Mary's team total under 53.5, it'd be my recommendation, as Duke definitely can shut them down on the defensive end of the court. That game, once again, at 2:50 Eastern. All right, we'll keep it moving. First game of the day Friday is actually at 12:15 Eastern in this region, Baylor and Mississippi State. And once again, I'm going down in betting rotation order, but this is the first game of the day on Friday, and it should be a good one. Mississippi State open pick 'em. They're currently just about a 1-point favorite, so this should be a very competitive matchup. Total has gone from 142.5 up to 144.5, so we have seen some money come in on the over in this game. Baylor finished just 4-6 their last 10 games down the stretch, and their wins came basically against non-tournament teams, so they really were not in good current form. Mississippi State, of course, from the powerful SEC conference, and they're coming in here off a loss in their conference tournament as well. Should be a pretty equal matchup here overall, but I agree with the move from pick to -1. I do think Mississippi State is the better team in this game. 6:50 Eastern remaining in Raleigh, North Carolina. We've got Norfolk State and Florida. Norfolk State should travel pretty well for this. I actually went to the tournament 2004 in Raleigh. It's the last NCAA tournament I went to. I went to a couple in the late 90s up in Washington, D.C. at the MCI Center, and then also went to the '04 tournament in Raleigh. I believe that's the last one I've been to in the last 20-some years. It's so difficult for me to make tournaments this time of year. So busy here with March Madness. Hey, comment below. Have you ever gone to the NCAA tournament? If so, which cities, which rounds? I really love the first round because you get 4 games on the first day. You get 2 games that Saturday. I was actually at the tournament in the late 90s in Washington, D.C. when Richmond, I believe, was a 14 or 15 seed, and they pulled an upset. So they played again the next round, and I think it was South Carolina they beat. Thousands of South Carolina fans were unloading their tickets for pennies on the dollar in the parking lot afterwards because they didn't want to stay for the next round. That's a great tip, by the way. If you're ever in the city that's hosting the NCAA tournament, you can get tickets on the cheap. Now, this was before StubHub. I do have to date myself. But once again, those tickets get pretty cheap when a favorite loses because all their fans usually unload and want to just go home. Once again, comment below. Have you ever been to the NCAA tournament? If so, what round, what city, and would you go again? I read the comments. I reply back. Love the support here on WagerTalk TV. Even if Norfolk State travels well, it won't matter. Florida can blow them out of the building. Now, I do worry a little about the Gators having a hangover after the SEC tournament win, because obviously it's a quick turnaround after probably the toughest conference tournament in history. 14 of the 16 teams made it, and had one of the other two won the tournament, 15 of the 16 might have made it. Florida got it won. They actually had a tougher odds of winning that than they do of winning this whole thing. They have about, according to the odds makers, a 4-1 second favorite behind Duke to win the NCAA tournament. Their odds were probably longer in the SEC championship, which is how incredible that conference was. But even if there's a hangover, Florida should be able to name their score. This line has opened 28.5. It really hasn't moved. Total's barely moved either. Open 153. It's a bump higher maybe to 153.5. 154 right now, but very little movement on this game, and I don't disagree. As is the case with these big one-seed favorites, they can pretty much name their score. It's just a matter of how much they want to win by. By the way, my power ratings make Florida just minus 27. Market's about a point high, but once again, is there really a difference between a 26 or 30-point win for Florida? No. I do think if the Gators show up defensively, Norfolk State will struggle. But once again, if they're a little tired or fatigued, it could show on the defensive end. Tough call here, but I would only lay it if you're going to play it, as Florida is the much better team. And then finally at 9:25 Eastern in Raleigh, we have Oklahoma-Connecticut. Should be a good game on Friday night. And I do think UConn is a very dangerous team, defending back-to-back national champion. They're not going to win it this year. I did a video on why, by the way, last week, if you want to check out 3 Blue Bloods that will not win it. I mentioned UConn because they barely have been a top 100 defensive efficiency team this season, but they have gotten better. They've improved by about 20% here over the past month. Obviously, having McNeely back in the lineup, that one of the best freshmen in the country, is helping also. And I think they match up well here because Oklahoma plays a little more up-tempo, whereas UConn is a slow-down half-court team. So I like the pace rating here for UConn to slow Oklahoma down, and I also think UConn is improving defensively. They're a dangerous team. They're not going to win it this year, but they can definitely make some noise, and I doubt there's anybody in the country that wants to face them in a one-and-done scenario, including Oklahoma on Friday night. All right, one region down, 3 to go. Once again, if you're finding this useful, thumbs up, like, comment below, and I'll keep doing it for every round of the NCAA tournament. Be sure to click subscribe and click that bell as well, so you'll get an instant alert when these videos are posted each and every day here on WagerTalk TV. And if you want my personal best bets, I've got 6 best bets for this Friday for my clients. 6 of these 16 games I am using for my clients, and they're available right now at WagerTalk.com. You can also get a bonus free play every day on my page. Also a link to my March Madness contest, which is all Friday games. So you have until noon Eastern Friday to enter it. I did all Friday games, so it would be up longer. Free contest going up to $2,000 worth of my best bets for free. Go enter it right now on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker. Shortcut, WT.buzz/SM. All right, the next region on the betting rotation is the East region, and we will start with the 7:25 Eastern game on Friday night, New Mexico and Marquette. A little bit of money coming in on Marquette. They opened 3.5. It's up to 4 now in several spots. Total's been bumped a little bit higher, too, from 152 up to 153 in this one. Marquette's a team I think could be dangerous. In my bracket, I have them going several rounds. I do think they could be one of the more underrated teams in the tournament. My ratings favor them by only 3, so the line is a little bit inflated now that it's gone to -4. But I think they're the more talented team here, and if you're going to play it, I would lay it. New Mexico plays extremely fast. But that doesn't help them any against a rugged team coming out of the Big East like Marquette. So I lean Marquette here, even though I think the line is a little bit inflated. Next game goes at 10 Eastern, one of your late-night games, Bryant, Michigan State. Should not be much of a matchup. Michigan State losing in the Big Ten tournament last week should be really focused. Tom Izzo, championship caliber coach. And we have seen this line go a bit higher from 17 up to 17.5. We've also seen the total go a bit higher from 150.5 up to 152.5. I do think Michigan State team total could be worth a look to the over in this one. Let me pull that up for you. Michigan State team total around 85.5 here might be worth a look, as I think Bryant just cannot match up defensively in this one. And keep in mind, Bryant played 2 tournament teams this year, and they lost by 22 to St. John's, and they lost by 48 or 46 points to Grand Canyon, 112 to 66. Does not bode well for him against a really talented Michigan State team that should be focused coming in off a Big Ten tournament loss. That's at 10 Eastern. All right, next game is Vanderbilt St. Mary's. St. Mary's opened 4.5. It has bumped down a little lower actually to 4. There's been some sharp money on Vanderbilt this week. but I don't agree with that move. The tempo really favors St. Mary's in this one. Whenever we get fast versus slow, I always defer to the half-court slowdown team, especially a veteran tournament-tested squad like St. Mary's. Total is held steady. 135.5 has not moved, even though we've seen some Vanderbilt money, because I do think Vanderbilt over, St. Mary's under is probably correlated in this one. But I like the Gales, and they could make some noise. I looked at when the tournament tipped off on Thursday finally, and all the bracket contests closed. I looked at ESPN.com to see who was picking who, and St. Mary's is behind some of the 16 seeds to win the national championship. Nobody is picking them in their bracket. It's really crazy how far down the list they were as a 7 seed. Now, they are in the same region with Duke, but once again, they have a decent path otherwise. So I do say maybe St. Mary's is a little bit anti-public overall in the tournament, and yet another reason I would lean towards them at the -4 here on Friday afternoon, 3:15 Eastern. Also, that pace matchup, slow versus fast, I like as well. All right, final game in the East region is at 12:40 Eastern. Should be one of the worst games of the day. Alabama, Robert Morris. Bama opened 21.5. It's now up to 22, even 22.5. Money coming in on Alabama. I don't disagree with it. They should be able to name their score here, and they're the fastest-paced team in the country, which makes it easier to cover a big number. Total has risen a bit from 165.5 up to 166. And once again, with the pace of play, they should be able to cover. And there's value also. I actually make Alabama a 23-point favorite. So the market is still a little bit light. It's moving higher. And Bama can name their score here. And the fact they lost in the SEC tournament, didn't even make it to the finals, I think they will be extra focused here against an outman opponent. They could very well get to the 100 range in this one. Another team total that's probably worth a look here, 94.5. Alabama team total over would make a lot of sense. My concern, though, with the team total over here is that if they have a big lead, they might slow down in the second half. So I think Bama is probably worth a play at -22. That might be the best option in that game. All right, 2 regions down, 2 to go. Hey, my voice is still working. I've been stressing it, man. I did all 16 games on Thursday. I'm giving you all 16 here on Friday. I'm going to give you all 8 on Saturday, all 8 on Sunday. As long as you give it thumbs up, likes, and positive comments below, I will keep it coming here on WagerTalk TV. And once again, if you want to enter my free March Madness contest, it is still available up until noon Eastern on Friday. It's all Friday games. You can enter for free and win up to a full year, $2,000 worth of my best bets for free by entering. Go to my page right now, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker, wt.buzz/SM. You can also find the links, the free plays, these videos when they're posted on X and Instagram by following me at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L, at Steve Merril on X and Instagram for daily updates as well. All right, let's go to the South region here. And this, by the way, the East region that we just talked about is in Cleveland. Not a lot of reason to mention Cleveland. There really no edge for any teams there, but just wanted to point that out. Not altitude, nothing crazy. South region here, North Carolina and Mississippi is the next one on the card. And this is, I believe, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the Midwest. North Carolina, they got it done. Nobody thought they should be in the tournament. Everyone complained, and then they blew out San Diego State, played a perfect game on Wednesday, and now they're a favorite. How do you like that? Favorite is an 11 seed off the play-in round against number 6 Ole Miss. Hey, the odds makers aren't sleeping. They know that these play-in winners, year in and year out, almost all the time, only once or twice, I think, in over a decade, have they not made it into at least the round of 32 this weekend. And North Carolina definitely has the makings to do it. I do think they probably win this game. My concern, though, is that they played a near-perfect contest on Wednesday, and it's often hard to duplicate that. But I do think the momentum is a real thing. And by the way, everyone said they didn't deserve to be in the tournament. If you look at the KenPom and some of the efficiency rankings, they're ahead of like 7 or 8 other at-large teams in the top 35 still. So they're a quality squad, and this line has gone from 1.5 up to -2. I make it more of a pick-em, so it is inflated. But once again, I'm not going to buck that momentum that I think North Carolina has after the win Wednesday. Might want to look at them first half, because I do think that momentum could show more early in the game. First half line obviously is going to be around -1. Which is a pretty attractive price on North Carolina. Ole Miss is a solid team, top 30, 35 on both offense and defensive efficiency. Obviously, the SEC was a much stronger conference than the ACC this year. So this one's a tough call, but if history's any indicator, either North Carolina or Xavier probably will win and go to the round of 32 after winning the play-in games on Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, next game here in the South region. It goes at 1:30 Eastern, Lipscomb and Iowa State. Everyone's kind of writing Iowa State off due to injuries here, but they should have no problem in this game. Current line was opened 13.5. It's been bet up to 14.5. Total has been bet up as well from 141 up to 143. So a little bit of money on the favorite and the over. My power ratings only favor Iowa State by 11.5. So this line is too high. However, Iowa State, as I mentioned, is capable of blowing anybody out when they bring their A game, and they should be focused after losing in the Big 12 tournament last week. They were kind of an up-and-down team over the course of the second half of the season, especially in conference play. I don't expect them to go too far in the tournament. I actually agree with the public sentiment against them overall, but in this situation, it would be Iowa State or pass for me, even though the line is a couple points too high. And then finally at 7 o'clock Eastern, Troy and Kentucky in Milwaukee. This game opened 10.5. Kentucky's now an 11.5 point favorite. Total open 151. It's been bet up a bit higher at about 152. So a little bit of money on the favorite and the over. And I don't disagree. I think Kentucky is a really dangerous team. Now, there were another one of those blue bloods, like UConn has said, that would not win at all. But that doesn't mean they can't win on any given day. And just like UConn, I think both UConn and Kentucky could beat anybody in this tournament. The problem is they both have been inconsistent teams. So to win 6 in a row is asking too much. But after losing in the first round last year, as they've done quite often recently, another definition of an inconsistent team, they're not going to overlook a much weaker Troy squad here. Troy got hot late in the season, upset win in the title game just to get here. Kentucky, meanwhile, didn't even make the SEC finals. They're rested, they're focused, and after getting bumped early last year, they won't overlook this team, even with the new coaching staff. It's Kentucky or pass. If you're going to play it, I would lay it with the minus 11.5 on Friday night. All right, 4 to go here. The final region here we're talking about on Friday is the West region, and this is taking place out in Seattle, Washington. So Oregon should have a nice little crowd edge here against Liberty from Virginia. My Liberty Flames at 10 o'clock. This is the late game on Friday night, but Liberty could be a live dog. They only lost one game all season by more than 5 points. They've been very competitive this year, and this line's actually gone from 5.5 up to 7.5, surprisingly. 7.5 now in some spots. So the money's been coming in on Oregon. Might be a little bit of a sharp square divide. I don't think the public is too heavy on the Flames here, but a little bit of sharp money on Oregon. But I don't necessarily agree. Once again, they've kept every game close this season. They've kept every game except one within 5 points. They went 28-6, and 5 of those 6 losses came by 5 points or less. And Oregon was a very inconsistent team down the stretch. Wouldn't be surprised to see this game closer than expected, despite that line move higher on the Ducks. Also on the night card at 7:30 Eastern in Seattle is Akron and Arizona. This line opened 13.5. Arizona now a 14.5 point favorite. Huge total, 166.5, and it's been bumped even higher now to 167. Don't disagree with that, though. Arizona plays fast, great offensive team. Akron is a good offensive team as well, so I do like the over 167 in this game. As I always say, highest totals go over, lowest totals go under, right? We look for a reason. We don't just blindly play it. It's a filter, just like the public consensus data that we use. It's a filter, but when it aligns with our handicap, it's an added extra edge that we have. So I do like the over 167. And I also think this is a fade the public situation. It wasn't a lot of public consensus on the card. By the way, UNC was looking a little public. That was another thing that worried me about that UNC Ole Miss game. But as far as dogs go, Akron might be the most public underdog here on Friday. Ding, ding. Red flag alert. Public dog. We always look to fade them, and I think there are some reasons to fade them. I like Arizona in this game. I think the Wildcats will be focused after underachieving in the Big 12 tournament. And my power ratings favor them by 15, so the line is fair. Even though it's moved from 13.5 up to 14, there is still value with Arizona, a little bit of a fade the public spot. I think this line is being deflated, held too low because the public is on Akron. You know, they don't dictate the lines in the regular seasons, but in the NCAA tournament, there's so much public volume, they can dictate lines a little bit within a point or so. Once again, I make Arizona a 15-point favorite. It should be a fast-paced, high-scoring game, which makes it a little easier to win by margin. And I think the public is on the wrong side. So take a look at Arizona minus the 14.5. Should be a high-scoring game on Friday night. All right, the other two games in the West both go in the afternoon at 2 o'clock and 4:30 Eastern. First game at 2 Eastern, Colorado State, Memphis. Should be a very competitive game here. Memphis is being faded by many people as a 5 seed, and for good reason. Even the betting market is fading them because Colorado State currently is a 2-point favorite. Opened as high as 3. They're currently 1.5 to 2-point favorite as the 12 seed. Memphis has some injuries at point guard, limited action there, but they still played well even without all their players recently. But they played a really weak conference schedule this year. Colorado State more battle-tested in my opinion. However, I do think the line's become inflated. I make the game a pick-em. And a lot of uncertainty in this one, so probably one that's best to stay away from. But once again, I make the game pick 'em, so there's a little bit of line value with Memphis at +2, even though I'm not real high on the Tigers going very deep in this tournament overall. And then finally at 4:30 Eastern, Grand Canyon and Maryland finishes at all 4 of the 16 games this Friday. Total opened 150. It has held steady, not moved at all this week. Over on the side, though, opened 11.5 and has been bet down to 10.5. And part of the reason is because Grand Canyon's a veteran squad that won in the tournament last season. So I do think they're a little bit public in this one. And that's one of the reasons I like Maryland. Plus, there's line value. Kind of like the Arizona spot. My power ratings favor Maryland by 12 in this game. Line's been bet down from 11.5 to 10.5. So we get some value with the Terps now. I do respect Grand Canyon as a mid-major veteran underdog that knows how to win, but I think the line value is with Maryland here. If you're going to play this one, I would lean towards the favorite Terps, Maryland minus the 10.5, as there is some line value at 4:30 Eastern. All right, woo, we did it. Voice is still intact for now. Got to save it for Saturday and Sunday as well. Also got to yell at the TV occasionally, right? Hey, seriously, comment below. Which games do you like this Friday opening round action in the NCAA tournament? Include 2 or 3 of your top plays. Include maybe your biggest upset. What's going to be the biggest shocker? Are we going to have a shocker on Friday? Always seems like there's a Cinderella that advances. What will it be? Who will it be on this Friday's card? Include some analysis if you have time. Let's learn and earn and win together here on WagerTalk TV. And once again, thumbs up, like, comment below. More comments, more positive comments. There's always someone trolling, whining and complaining. Hey, by the way, thousands of you that are commenting and watching, set them straight. We don't need that negative energy, right? Let's keep it positive. Let's keep it fun. I gave you the question yesterday on Thursday, favorite Seinfeld episodes. That was fantastic, by the way. Tons of answers. I know my crowd's older and younger, but I was shocked how many people were Seinfeld fans since it's been 30-some years. That was fantastic. Question of the day for this Friday, though. Have you ever gone to the NCAA tournament? If so, what city? Did you enjoy it? Would you do it again? Did you see any major upsets? Once again, I saw Richmond. I think they beat South Carolina. I got to look it up. It was like almost 30 years ago. But that was a big one, and it was pretty cool to watch. It's always fun to be there when a Cinderella is making a run, because even if you don't have a rooting interest, everyone gets behind the big dog. So do you have any good tournament stories? If so, drop them in the comments below, and let's win together here on Friday. Don't forget, click subscribe and click the bell for instant alerts so you never miss out when these free videos are posted each and every day here on WagerTalk TV. And if you want my personal best bets, I've got 6 strong best bets. I love this card on Friday. 6 of the games I just covered are official client best bets. If you want to get them, they're on my page right now. A one-day all-access pass is $39, or you can get it down to $14 with promo code BRACKET25. I know, that sounds too good to be true. Let me explain how it works. Put my bracket out earlier this week for $25. I wanted everyone to be able to get it for free, so I made a promo code, BRACKET25, which is a $25 credit on anything you purchase up until Friday night. Well, obviously the bracket's already expired. No sense to get that now. That promo code is still good, so if you haven't used it yet, you can take $25 off any purchase today on Friday. And it expires at midnight this Friday, so you got to use it before Friday night's up. Now, you could use it on the one-day all-access and get the $39 price down to, what would it be, $14? That's a great deal. You're getting 6 strong college best bets for Friday. A better option, in my opinion, would be the 3-day all-access for $69 and get that down instantly to $44. That gets you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Gets you all 6 bets for Friday, and then all around to 32 games on Saturday and Sunday. Not a bad option. $99 1 week. Get it down to, what is it, 74? I'm doing some math here. Lots of math. Get it down to 74 for 7 days and nights. That's a great deal. That gets NBA. Baseball starts next week. Woohoo! Baseball alert. Next Thursday, the full baseball season starts. And let me just tell you, if you weren't with me for baseball last year, boy, did you miss out. Anybody who was with me knows we crushed it. Number 1 in profit won in baseball last year in 2024. We went over 100 units alone in MLB. We had doubled our bankroll by the end of August. My all sports clients had already doubled their bankroll by the end of August. And oh yeah, the NBA, number 1 last year, number 1 all time in profit at WagerTalk, and the NBA playoffs start in just 1 month. So yes, you can do it for a short-term package and almost get it for free, but why not save on a bigger, longer-term package and take a serious investment approach and make money consistently with sports betting? Once again, no matter which option you choose, whether it's a 1 day, a 1 week, a 1 month, or a 1 year, every client gets the exact same personal best bets that I'm using each day. Same games I've won with consistently for 29 years as a full-time professional handicapper. I started back in 1996. I've been doing this for well over half my life, full-time. I know how to win. I know how to take a long-term, consistent investment approach. I'm very selective. Yes, we have 6 best bets this Friday. That's rare. Normally, I average 2 to 3 best bets on average. My last play, by the way, that misses the cut goes up for free for everybody. So if you're building your bankroll, if you're new to WagerTalk, check out my page every day for the free play. You can click on the previous best bets to read the analysis after the games, see how I do things. And then when you're ready to get on board, use one of the promo codes. They're listed on my page every day. This one is BRACKET25, BRACKET25. Go to my page now. You'll see the details. You'll see the special offers. You'll see the best bets. And you will also see a link, once again, to my free March Madness contest, which expires at noon on Friday. It's all Friday games. Pick anywhere from 16 games posted, 16 plays posted. I put some over-unders up because earlier this week we didn't know who Duke was playing, for example, in some of the playing games. So once again, 13 sides, 3 totals, all for Friday. If you pick 11 or more, you win free service. You can win a day, a week, a month, up to a full year for free. Free entry, up to a full year, $2,000 value of my best bets. Once again, free to enter that link to the contest. Promo code best bets, free play on my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Hey, get there quicker right now, WT.buzz/SM. Once again, all this stuff is also posted on X and on Instagram. Links to the videos, free plays, promo codes, contest. Check me out on X at Steve Merril, 2 R's, 1 L. You know the deal, 2 R's, 1 L. At Steve Merril on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because you also know there's more free play videos coming up next.